Okay, Hare Krishna. Reading from Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛta, Volume 2, Chapter 2, Text 101. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhaktau nava-vidhāyāṁ mukhyaṁ smaraṇam evahi tat samagrendriya-śreṣṭha mano-vṛtti-samarpaṇam. Of the 9 kinds of devotional service, remembrance is the chief. It is an offering of the activity of the mind, the most important of all the senses. Purport: the sage's idea is that remembrance, smaraṇam, is superior to other devotional processes like hearing and chanting, shravan and kirtan, because remembrance involves absorbing the mind in thoughts of the personality of Godhead, whereas hearing and chanting engage only the senses of hearing and speech, which is subordinate to the mind and therefore less important. Om jnana-timirandasya gananjana shalakaya Taksur-militam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Mano-bhīstam Stapitam yena bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sapadantikam Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. I forgot one paper. I'll be right back in a second. So, greetings from Govardhan. I think Govardhan Hill is about, I don't know, maybe 50 yards from me here. And I've been settling in where place is under a little bit of construction because we're trying to make it super nice for guests. So you can see now my fancy door. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, it's just been all running around today. And usually I've been giving this class in the morning after chanting so much and fresh, now doing so much work and then taking a few Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛtas rotis and then sitting here. So, yeah, this is an incredible book, and I'll bring it to where we're up to. And you remember, it's Sanatana Goswami's attempt to explain the tattva of the highest goal and the tattva of how to attain it. And remember, in the very first verse, it said, Parama Dashantam, Parama Antam. Parama, the supreme, Antam, the end, Dasha, stage. So this is not easy. I'm finding again and again, whether it's the CC or here, even in the way the second book begins with Janame Jaya, who just heard from Jaimini Rishi, Akila, or short summary commentary on a Mahabharata, not written by the one Vaishapayana that we read, but another Mahabharata where Krishna's presentation in there is much more intimate. God is a person, and a person is their love or their identity in relationship. That's what a person is. I say father, mother, daughter, lover, son, all these different things. So how much that is presented depends on the person you're with and the environment in which you find yourself with that person. Just like Srimati Radharani at Kurukshetra, she was with Krishna, but in an environment where Krishna couldn't reveal himself fully. So the whole idea of Gaudiya Vaishnavism is that Krishna is the fullest manifestation of God. Akila Rasa-amrita Murti, the full embodiment. Akila, complete. Rasa-amrita, the nectar of relationships. Akila Rasa-amrita Murti, the form of Sri Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavato Mati, Krishna consciousness, the full manifestation of Sri Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavato Mati, the attitude, the mindset of this mood of Sri Krishna Bhakti Rasa, of our relationship with Krishna. So Krishna is manifest fully. And that's not there always, just like we do not manifest ourselves fully. And we enjoy a variety of different loves that require a variety of different settings. So the Supreme Lord manifests in different ways to exchange love in different ways, and different souls are receptacles to be fully satisfied in a particular function. Even we're going to see Gop Kumar later on, he's going to visit Mahakala Pur, the place of Brahman, where souls perform the service of just being a particle of consciousness in God's effulgence. And somehow they're satisfied in that. Although for a devotee, we find that hellish to not have the relational identity, not just the appreciative identity. More than Shantaras, just being satisfied with God's immanence, but actually having a person relationship. So the highest manifestation of that, the most intimate manifestation of that, the fullest manifestation of that, the most pleasing to Krishna manifestation of that is the love of the gopis. And of the gopis, Srimati Radharani has the full capacity to give Krishna pleasure. So that mood, Sri Bhakti Swam, that mood of God himself wanting to experience the love of his topmost devotee at the height of her love, that sense in Braja, in that mood, is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to give to the world. And he's empowering Sanatana Goswami to explain it. And the book in which he does it is the Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛta. And he admits at the beginning, practically speaking, it's an impossible task. It all through the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Bhagavatam, the Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛta, it says this is impossible. Even in the beginning of this book, when Jaimini Rishi, Janamejaya, he's listening to Jaimini Rishi explain this commentary, this summary study of the Bhagavatam called Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛta, which is Maharaj Parikshit's summary of the main points of the Bhagavatam, the main message of the Bhagavatam, the process of purifying the consciousness and the intelligence and the heart to actually be able to fully understand that. That's what the Bhagavatam is. It's all about the 10th canto, actually speaking. There are 9 other cantos that are meant to help you get the frame of reference and the purity of heart so you can actually understand this. So this is his Sanatana Goswami. So Jaimini Rishi is explaining this to Janamejaya. And it appears that he completes it, because the story of Narada Muni, which we've gone over again and again in different ways, highlights and points and helps explain in a literary and such a dynamic, incredibly dynamic way, story from many, many different angles and many different aspects of drama that we've been through, in such a brilliant way from different people and different perspectives within different stories. This Paramadrishantam, he explains it so beautifully, ending with Krishna telling Satyabhama why he loves the gopis so much, ending with Krishna telling Narada Muni that the disturbance you caused, which awoken within me, separation from the gopis, it is the highest benediction, and I give you a benediction, whatever you want. Ending in such a dynamic way. In the second book, the story of Gop Kumar begins with Janamejaya saying, it's not enough, there must be more. And Janamejaya is saying, Bhava Anubhavam. What is it about? Those who have direct experience of transcendence, of God, they cannot understand this. And again, everywhere, those who hear faithfully, Sarvasya chaham hidisani vishto matasmatir jnanam, I am situated in your heart, and from me comes remembrance, forgetfulness, and knowledge. Somehow, they can get a perspective. So Jaimini Rishi says, somehow, yes, it had continued this story. Mother Uttara herself said, it's not enough, I want to hear more. I don't only want to hear about the people who have this Bhagavan, Bhagavad Kripasar. The first book is Bhagavad Kripasar, the essence of the Lord's mercy, which is the reciprocation of God, of fully manifesting his most intimate love within a devotee's heart of him, Bhakti Swayam. And I don't only want to hear about that, but I want to hear about the place. Because the place is constructed to facilitate particular relationships that we have. And therefore, from the place, you can understand a lot about the love. So I want to hear also about the place. And then we get into this incredible story of Gopakumar getting a mantra that gave him in seed form, it's a Gopal mantra, in seed form, when you get Diksha, in seed form, there is Bhagavat Surup Gyan and Sambandha Vishesh Gyan, the form of God whom we have that relationship with and the sentiments of that relationship. And he got that. And because he got it from his guru, and his guru in ecstasy disappeared, he didn't have any instructions from it. But his search for it, as he's going from place to place, higher and higher places in the universe, his search for it shows us how to attain it. How to attain it. The first book provides clear, logical, scripturally backed, philosophical conclusions that satisfy our understanding. This is the highest. And the second book, the emotional nourishment, the faith, the practical application of the philosophy. And we see it through Gop Kumar, the essential core qualities we need to move forward in our devotion. And the first thing is our heart, our desire, our lobha, our greed to serve Krishna in a particular way, at least in the mood of Vrindavan, if not a specific resident of Vrindavan. That's the most important thing to move us forward, is having a relationship with Krishna. And we get that relationship, and we're shown by Prabhupada, we're shown by the different acharyas, by exactly doing what we're doing here, hearing about this love, reading Krishna book, reading the Bhagavatam. And my own experience, because somehow or other the way Krishna is dealing with me now, in a very, very interesting way, he's just absorbing me in I gave on Saturday the fourth part of a series of summarizing the whole Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛta. And then on Monday, then I have another group, 50 people, and then 2 groups here and different groups, and Tuesday with the CC. And actually speaking, my friend Borijan, I asked him how he is, and he sent me a message. He had cancer. It seems like it was treated. It seems he will come to Govardhan as planned. And I explained to him this realization I had, that this subject that is impossible to understand because we have no frame of reference, that the emotions of despondency, anxiety, eroticism come from love and therefore produce the highest ecstasy on the spiritual platform. Our frame of reference is the modes of material nature, and therefore in the I think 15th chapter of the Gita, the tree on the river, the highest part is the lowest part is the highest part in its reflection. Very difficult to intellectually comprehend, but Suna Vishnu, if you hear with faith, so I'm saying that's my realization, Bṛhad. So when you hear with faith, you get an experience of it. Not just an intellectual understanding. Yes, the intellectual understanding clears doubts so you can have the experience of it. Faith is the experience supported by the understanding. So I expressed that to him, that by hearing regularly, and every day with Niranjan Swami for an hour, I told you that by hearing regularly Krishna-katha, hearing about the residents of Vrindavan, you start to get a feel going into the Krishna Balaram Mandir and looking at the Gaur-Nitai deities after reading the Chaitanya Charitamrita, looking at the beautiful deities of Sri Sri Krishna Balaram after reading the Bhagavatam, looking at the forms of Sri Sri Radhasham Sundar after reading the Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛta, there is a feeling, prema pumarta mahan. The highest thing of value is prema. And prema is an energy between people in relationship. Twasmin parama prema roop, and the highest form of that prema is to God. So we'll see in this story of Gopu Kumar the qualities that we need to imbibe to move us on our journey. And the interesting point I mentioned last week, but it ends with Narada Muni again appearing to Uddhava and telling him that humility is the key, as St. Augustine said when they said, what's the key to spiritual life? He said 3 things: humility, humility, humility. And same thing. Narada says the key is humility. We see in the first book, Narada Muni going from one person to other and progressive levels of devotion, but they all have the core humility. And Gop Kumar himself has that humility. And he said there's two ways you can get humility: by your own effort, understanding. And one is Krishna gives you that humility. And Krishna giving you that humility is giving you prema, giving you love. Because love is the greatest humility. Because real love, the intense love, means that the agent for your life is shifted from yourself to your beloved. As one great saint said, describing in a discreet, indirect way, when he got Bhava Bhakti, when the Samvit Ladini Shakti of the Supreme Lord descended on his consciousness. And then he said, I was the subject, meaning everything was an object. I was in the center. Then I became the object, and God became the center. And his desire, just like being in a room with Prabhupada, you had to be very humble, because everything was intensely under his will, and his room was intensely for Krishna's service. And you wanted to be in his presence, you had to be in that same mood, that I am an object for his agency, for his selfhood, for his free will, for his desires. And then the devotee mentioned, and I was captured. So that humility. So we'll follow Gop Kumar, and you'll see his faith in his mantra, his faith in his guru, his simplicity, not the mental plane. Mano-vṛtti-samarpaṇam bhavato mehi. What is the mental plane? What is best for my sense pleasure? What is best for my control? Is it this or this? This or this? If I go here, I enjoy this much more. If I go here, maybe I enjoy more there. If I do this, maybe I enjoy more here. And we're wandering on that mental. No, simple. Simple. I visited one great saint in Vrindavan, and he worships these Radha Krishna deities, and they're so beautiful. And his whole life, he's even carving these Radha Krishna deities. Very dedicated to Prabhupada. And his whole life, I said, so how do you center your life on the deities? And how do you center your life on the deities? let me see if I can find it. I know I wrote it down. I wrote it down because I want to put it on my own wall. But where did I put it? Let me see if I can. Yes, at this point of my life, surrender is simply living from day to day without any anxiety or any plans, and simply trying my best to do whatever service is coming my way. And he says, I'm engaged all day long somehow. I'll read at this point. He's older, probably in his late 60s. At this point of my life, surrender is simply living from day to day without any anxiety or any plans, and simply trying my best to do whatever service is coming my way. And that also remembers the definition of bhakti that my godbrother Pradyumna gave. Bhakti means to make ourselves available. So simplicity, simplicity, whatever Krishna wants. And there's not that calculation, maybe he wants a little here, I want a little bit more, what is best here? It's service. You don't have to be on the mental plane on service, but for my sense gratification. Is this better? Is that better? Is this better? Is that better? No, service to Krishna is simplicity. And for service to Krishna, I take what I need. I'm not involved in so many different things and building things and constructing things like I'm doing now. I'm doing it though for service, but I think this is the end of it. Just had my friend Raghunath here. The room wasn't finished. We want to make it nice for the guests. So Gop Kumar, and so persistent, and his devotion is inclusive. So we follow Gop Kumar. Narada Muni was a celestial sage. Gop Kumar was a simple cowherd boy. So he went on his journey with that desire in his heart and not actually understanding where to find it. And therefore, no matter how ecstatic he gets in all these different planets that worship God, there will be something lacking, which is his particular relationship with God. So now we'll go to today's verse. I can see I've been running around crazy today, so sometimes I think in the mode of passion, my classes. So what happens to him, he finally comes up to Tapalok, and two things happen, and they're kind of contradictory. One, they're all great ascetics. They don't have any external deity form. God is in their heart. They're completely into smaraṇam. And they don't talk to anybody. So he wants to go to a place which has the form of God to see. And this Pipalayana Rishi, one of the Nava-yogendras, kind of stops him and gives this so many good arguments about the mind. Look at all the demons. They see Krishna, but if the mind is not engaged, the senses have no power. And where is bliss? It's in the mind. And even when the object goes, the bliss stays. But if the mind wanders, the bliss goes, even if the object is there. And Lord Brahma, in the lotus stem, in his mind, he hugged Krishna, he served Krishna, he spoke to Krishna. It's the mind, it's the mind, it's the mind. And now saying of the 9 items of devotional service, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, smaraṇam. It's just remembrance. It's just remembrance that is the most important. Now, the purports are supporting that, but later on, I'm pretty sure what is going to be ultimately recommended is Nam Sankirtan. Yes, it's about the mind, but the best way to engage the mind is to chant God's names and always be absorbed in Trinadapi, Sanichena, Tororapi, Sahishnana, Amanina, Madanena, Kirtaniya, Siddhahari, always engaged in chanting. Nam Sankirtan, Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha, Shuddha Purno Nitya Mukta, Binatvam Nama Namano, Nama Chintak, Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha, it is the form. And he said, service to Jagannath. You want service to Jagannath? Chanting his names is the best service. So he's going to continue on his arguments about the Nam. But we understand that if we don't activate the senses, there's very, very little chance. There's very, very little chance of the mind being absorbed. The mind is the key, of course. In the beginning of the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the Nectar of Devotion, Prabhupada quotes that verse. The essence of Krishna consciousness is to remember Krishna and not forget him. So obviously, if you're remembering Krishna, that's the best. But the question is the best way to remember Krishna is just to cut off the external senses and activate the mind, or to chant the holy names and energize the senses? Dr. Fakir Mohan told me that chanting the holy name is better than worshiping the deities, because you have to go to see the deities, but the holy name comes into your consciousness. So anyway, Antar Anganta Angam tu Prema Bhaktim Yata Ruchi Datum Ahat Avishramam Mana Eva Samaitam. Only the mind fixed in meditation Vishram is rest. Without rest, Vishram God. So Avishramam, without cessation, Manam, mind, Eva, Samahitam, fixed in meditation. Only the mind fixed in meditation can offer the Lord that offering which is the most confidential thing. Antar Anga Angantar. Anta Angam, Anta Angam, Anta Angam, Angam is limbs, it's your body, it's the Anta, the inner, the most confidential. Anta Anga, of the most confidential, the most confidential. Only the mind can offer this, which is what? Prema bhaktim yata ruchi, loving devotion that follows your taste to serve God. Follow yata ruchi, that follows your taste, that follows your love, your spontaneous attraction in love. Purport, the sage Pipalayana reasons that only Jnana and Vairagya bring one close to the absolute truth. Only devotional service and prema brings one into the most intimate proximity, and prema can develop only by full concentration of the mind. Since only the mind, the superintendent of all the senses, can properly engage each sense with its objects, devotional service rendered with the mind is secure, for it's unlikely to become agitated, disrupted, if you can fix your mind. Now it's going to mention, because it mentioned this prema, it arises from special transformations of the functions of the mind. This attainment is called prema. It mentioned loving devotional service, prema, that follows one's taste. Only the mind can offer this. And then it describes 7 characteristics of the mind. There is one goal of all disciplines, one highest attainment of all, the one potent means to bring the supreme under control. Only by the mercy of the Lord can it be attained. It is the rare, exclusive treasure of the devotees, a treasure rich with every sort of transcendental ecstasy and sweetness. Highest attainment, most potent means, can only be attained by mercy, rare, exclusive. It's the treasure of his devotees, and it has transcendental ecstasy and sweet ecstasy. It's wonderful, glorious, can't even be described. That attainment is called prema, and it's a function of the mind. So he mentions all these things. And then he says, Manasohi samadhanam manyase duskaram yadi chakshu safalya kamova bhagavantam dedikshashe tadgacha bharatam varsham tatra no tratyamiswaram narayanam narasakam pasyadrau gandamadane. Okay. So Pipalayana Rishi says, if you think that focusing the mind in meditation is too difficult, or if you're just eager to see the personality of God and to fulfill the purpose of your eyes, although Pipalayana Rishi obviously gave his opinion, it's the mind, not the eyes, then you will find that our Lord residing in Gandamadana mountain as Narayan, the friend of Nara and Narayan. So he said, okay, maybe Gop Kumar is unfit to achieve it, or perhaps he thinks it may be available by the power of the mantra. And that way he can go and see personally, and that will inspire him. Antabahis pasyamas tam samadhi parayana nato vicheda dukam syad ityagat tatvasa prabhu. We devotees of yoga samadhi see Lord Nara and Narayan both within and without ourselves, and so there is no danger of our suffering pain due to separation from the Lord. He went to Gandamadana. So again, Pipalayana Rishi is saying, we see him both within and without by our meditation. Living there as a guru in the science of weaponry, he dresses as a brahmachari, his hair in matted lots, and performs severe austerities as an instruction for the benefit of the world. Maybe I'll stop here a few minutes early, because actually I got up at 12:30. It's now almost 6:15. And I did take a nap during the day, but evidently the jet lag is hitting me. I tried to be enthusiastic to stay up, but I will leave time for some comments and questions. Jamunajaya, you always have something interesting about the class.
Hare Krishna Raj, thank you so much for class. The really was so many good points about this thing about the mind, and that prema is a special function of the mind, and it's reminding those conversations that you were sharing with us, and it really just struck home with me today. Like what you said, it's like the object could be gone, but you still have the experience in your mind. And it reminded me of a conversation I had with my mom not too long ago. She's just about lost her sight. And we were talking, and she's bummed out when she goes to mass. But we were saying, well, Mom, you don't need your eyes to see God. You don't need the physical eyes. And this whole conversation was just so wonderful today, that prema is a special function of the mind.
Wow, your mother seems pious.
She is very pious, Raj, very
She
pious.
seems to have God in the heart.
She
And they
does.
know of demographics, African American women are by far the group that are most religious and go to church.
Oh, well, that's true of Mom. No matter what she's feeling, she gets it
No,
up. She goes, yep.
my mother would go play mahjong at the club. I don't know this game of mahjong, what this has to do. I don't know what this Chinese game or something like that, but no, it's nice to hear the piety. Also, yeah, and Gail used to tell me about her mother-in-law.
Uh,
Even when she was old, they had the mass and that
yeah,
piety. It's so powerful. You know when you
yeah,
travel in America, you go to a small town and you see there's like 3 or 4 churches on the same block of different denominations. How America was such a religious country.
mm,
You know, everything
yeah,
has strengths and weaknesses, but there was certainly strengths in that type of piety, of not just social, right? What
yes.
denomination did your mother like to go to?
Catholic. She's Catholic.
Catholic.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Rosary, she does rosary.
Yeah, she does her rosary. She does her japa. She does her rosary twice a day. She goes physically to mass 3 times a week. And the other day she watches on the Catholic channel.
How old is
Um,
she?
97, 97,
97, huh?
and
Not
lives
so,
by herself.
not so fearful?
No, she is like she's ready, but she won't be afraid when the time comes. She's really not fearful. She's really not. Yeah.
We're, we're scared at like anything.
Yeah. Yeah, she's amazing. I'm so happy Krishna has allowed her to stay this long with
Uh,
me. Yeah, she's amazing.
okay. Gail, any
Thank you very-
questions?
Not so much, but I will confirm that Jamuna Jaya's mother and my mother-in-law would have been great friends. They would have watched the Catholic channel together. So my mother-in-law, even though she didn't even speak English, but when she wasn't able to go to church any longer physically, she was still very, without any interruption, she would always, watch the mass on television. She was
And
always with
very
the
sweet,
rosary,
right? Very sweet and pious, right?
very, very much so, very much so. Yeah.
Right. Wow.
But Maharaj, I will say that something. Well, I will say that what kind of caught my attention was when you were linking prema to humility, and how um, for that prema, humility is the essential ingredient because prema means you put somebody else's, well, in this case, it's
Yeah,
Krishna. You put
I keep on finding, what do you need? 1 second. Cleaning, not today. Next door. What? Okay. cheese and then, okay. All right, good. And then you bring for the roti. Yeah, we have one assistant here from my ashram, a local Bṛhad-bhāsi. I think we pay him $60, no, $45 a month.
Oh, wow.
He comes 1 hour after work. We give him a lot of things, though. I mean, a lot of things. But he comes after work for an hour for whatever we need. And every morning he brings me 4 Bṛhad-bhāsi rotis soaked in ghee. So it's the Braj life. But anyway, you go ahead, keep on explaining now.
No, I was just, highlighting that link between humility and prema.
Yeah, I keep, because, it says how one gets prema and he can't be proud he has it. He thinks he has less of it. He doesn't think highly. And I thought that's one of the images, right? That when you're in love, it's not ego. Real love is not ego. It's very humble. Codependence means is you take the relationship to put you, I'm great because I have this person. So it's a different type of kind of, but real love, when prema, you can imagine you're just a servant, whatever God wants, kinkari. Gopi means kinkari, whatever you want, I will do. Very, yeah.
I appreciated this connection today because, normally when we use this word humility, you think in terms that, other aspects of humility, like, recognizing
doormats.
My inferiority to someone else, rather than I'm putting somebody else's desires ahead of my own. And when it comes to prema, of course, that means Krishna.
I got your nice letter about Joseph and how much he appreciated the.
Oh yeah, he thought it was a great joke too. I'm happy he never heard it before.
I can't believe I told him an original Rodney Dangerfield joke. Now I'm going to reveal to everyone. My favorite comedian was Rodney Dangerfield. His thing is I get no respect. So Joseph, Gail's husband, is also a tremendous Rodney Dangerfield fan.
Yeah, that's his mentor.
So I told him one that he never heard before. He said, yeah, I had a gambling problem. I went to Gambling Anonymous. They gave me 2 to 1. I wouldn't make it. Not everybody will realize that one. And by the way, Jai Jagannath gave that very deep.
Yeah, I studied that offering. He sent it to me.
Well, anyway, Sri Rupa posted it because people wanted to hear it on my Sanga class. Very interesting, very, okay. Okay, anybody else want to say hello?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, this is Krishna-katha. Thank you so much for the class.
Thank you, and I got you.
Very.
Okay.
Yes, please. Maharaj, I'm very sorry that I missed your vyasa-puja and I sent you a mail. And
beautiful, I got it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. It was beautiful.
Thank you greatly.
I love that you come here. Yudhisthira, Haribo.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thanks for pushing through your jet lag. Nice class.
It was great to be with you and Adriana this weekend. And then Monday, it's a nice place, right? That restaurant, we could sit and.
It is very pleasant. And honestly, since so many of your disciples are here, we feel like it's another family we entered into. Very sweet.
It's very great. Yeah. Well, I mean, I mean, you may be down in Dallas, but you're a New York guy, so I mean, your samskar is from New York, right?
White
Okay.
Plains.
Okay, all right, okay, all right,
All
well,
right. All right, Krishna.
thank you. Anybody else like to say hello?
Hare Krishna Gamaraj, Paul Govinda.
I'm Broja.
Thanks
Thank
for
you for
class.
Haribo, Haribo.
Haribo.
I'm here in my place, and getting acclimated here to, I thrive on regulation.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Vrindavan, I went here, it was great though, Vrindavan, I went to Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛta temple. Where else we go? Prabodhananda Saraswati's Samadhi, it's near Kali Ghat. Gopal Raj's Prasad for lunch,
Oh, nice.
meeting a few people, and then out here to Govardhan getting set up. My main man Raghunath was here today.
Yeah.
He promised, not the Brijbasi Raghunath.
Yeah.
He promised me by the 30th, everything's going to be finished. He's putting his life on the line.
Uh-oh.
And it's the only time I lied to get him to do it. I never lied. But anyway, he's
Yeah.
gonna, 2 more days, it's all gonna be finished.
Okay.
Okay.
But it's pretty much almost finished, what you're doing?
Yeah, it's almost finished. It's almost
Uh-huh.
finished.
Yeah.
But
So
it
Where did that?
should have been finished before I came, because that's why we started it 6 months ago. But,
What are the odds?
but anyway, no, it's gonna be finished. It's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be nice.
what did you exactly do? You added another room upstairs?
Jai Jagannath's room had a porch. We closed the porch. The doors were being eaten by termites, so we got these kind of doors.
Oh. Oh, wow. Okay. Huh.
On all the doors, different things doing, fixing it up.
Wow.
Nice.
It's gonna be nice.
Yeah, I'm quite a few things are done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can't wait to see it.
You may even be staying there. I can't say, but it looks like I'm.
Okay, I hope so. That'd be great.
Okay. All right.
Very well.
Anybody
Thank
Hi,
you.
Paul.
hello? Otherwise, I'm looking at the list and thanking everyone intensely for hearing my ramble today about Krishna consciousness. Okay, thank you all. Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha.